Hey everyone, Mitch coming up with the Commander's Core Studio. Welcome to the show. So, on today's episode, I'm going to be highlighting some really exciting cards that, well, just spiked in price for one reason or another. Yeah, a brand new set just got fully spoiled, and the precons with it too. So, certain things are happening that make cards go up in price, and other things that are completely unrelated. Now, this information you can find in a link in the description below. There's going to be an article that is fantastic. MTGstocks.com is a great resource to see, well, kind of prices and how they, work over time, and also cards like this that are highlighted by them. And yeah, make sure you check out that article. It is fantastic. I'm just going to quickly highlight the cards because I found the ones this week very interesting. And yeah, the first one, I just kind of want to spread the word about this because it's not a format that I've been able to explore yet, but I'd love to hear your opinion on it as well. And I think it's pretty exciting now that I've read kind of more and more about it. But, and I'm going to get the name wrong, I'm sure, but I'm just going to say Dan. Maybe it's Dan Don. I'm not sure. Dan. I'm just going to go with that. There's an entire format that is built around this derpy fish, okay? There's an entire format built around it, which is absolutely incredible. And yeah, it's apparently been getting more and more popular lately, so its price has been going up. Apparently, according to MTG Stocks, the article, up 505%, up to $3.81. Now, the price that I'm probably showing on the screen right now might be a little bit different than that. This is just a different version of the card. So yeah, basically, some apparently are $6 now. Other cards, again, for this like derpy common, are now $3.81 to get a card that is basically useless everywhere else, but there's a format that is completely built around it, where I believe it's actually the only creature in your deck, and your opponents are actually playing, I think you're all playing from the exact same deck, if I'm remembering correctly, but yeah, a really exciting card for a format like that. An entire format built around a 4/1 fish that literally can't attack unless the defending player controls an island, and when you control an island, to sacrifice it, so there's kind of like a give and take, which is very interesting. So yeah, make sure you check out that article in the description below on MTG Stocks, and also I'll try to find that article that I read a long time ago. Not a long time ago, I guess it was like a week ago or so, but like about the Dan format. So yeah, make sure you check those out. And yeah, let's move on to the next one though. So apparently Vampire Hexmage is spiking in price, and this one's not all that surprising because, well, there's a brand new kind of card that came out with this format, with March of the Machine, and that of course is battle cards. Battle cards are very exciting. They're very different. Again, it's our first, actually, horizontal card, essentially, that, stays and plays horizontal. There's, split cards and whatnot, but this is the very first, horizontal card. It works differently than all the other things. I guess the important thing isn't that it's really horizontal. That's just a design decision, but it's pretty exciting, okay? Battles, which we'll get here to one in a second. They have, those defense counters on them, or those, hit points, essentially, on them. Once those go away, they transform. And Vampire Hexmage can be a great way to kind of cheat on that, essentially. So Vampire Hexmage, I'm probably sure to start with this, is a 2/1 human shaman, vampire shaman, sorry, not human shaman, and that is important. We'll talk about why here in a second. With first strike, that costs black, and says, sacrifice it, remove all counters from target permanent. So if it's a planeswalker you're going up against, yeah, you can take that out just in one shot with this, which is fantastic. If there are, is a creature with a lot of counters on it, sure, that too. Also, what this does combo with something, very, very famous, the Dark Depths. It combos with Dark Depths. You get counters on Dark Depths, you take them off, and then all of a sudden you got Merit Lage in play. But now this works incredibly well with battles. And one in particular I do want to highlight, actually I think I'm going to highlight two, but one in particular I do want to highlight is Invasion of Ikoria. Let's read this sideways real quick. When Invasion of Ikoria enters the battlefield, search your library and or graveyard for a non-human creature card with mana value X less on the battlefield, and if you search the library this way, shuffle. So basically, hey, put 2 into that X, right? Go get Vampire Hexmage, because again, Vampire Hexmage is not a human, it's a vampire, which I messed up on earlier. Regardless, again, with this kind of a battle, right, it comes into play with 6 of those counters on it. You can sacrifice your Vampire Hexmage, which you can tutor this out with, to immediately flip it. And when you flip it, well, it turns into Zalortha, Apex of Ikoria. You were hiding there, Zalortha. I didn't see you underneath that battle. Regardless, in 8/8 with Reach, legendary creature dinosaur. It says for each non-human creature you control, you may have that creature assign its combat damage as though it weren't blocked. So kind of like, hey, all your creatures are basically Thorn Elementals when it comes to that, essentially. I think Thorn Elemental is the original one that did that. Regardless, yeah, there are certain kind of, combinations with battles that you can utilize very effectively with that. And yeah, Vampire Hexmage is a nice little cheat code kind of with these kind of things. Instead of actually having to attack that and actually take the counters down or, deal damage with like lightning bolts or whatnot, just being able to be like, yeah, I sacrificed my Vampire Hexmage. Get rid of that. Or no, not get rid of it, but remove the counters. Then I can exile and recast it essentially for the backside. Speaking of another one that is very impactful as well, obviously this is more impactful with the battles that have more counters on them. Invasion of Alara also has 7 counters on it, or actually this one has 7, the last one has 6, I think. This one has 7 counters on it. I already highlighted this on its own episode. It's a really exciting card. I absolutely love it. And this one actually can get Vampire Hexmage out too. When it enters the battlefield, you exile cards to the top of your library until you exile 2 non-land cards with mana value 4 or less. You can cast one of them, and the other one goes in your hand. Yeah, basically, hey, get free value off the top of your library. I love the concept for this card. One goes in your hand, one can be cast. It's great. Again, you technically can actually cast, Vampire Hexmage, which you can then sacrifice to, remove those counters. Immediately flip it. And on the back side, again, you get to exile and cast it. You get Awaken the Maelstrom. Really cool card. It's all colors. Nice. So that can impact certain things, like commanders that care about multicolored spells, etc. Target player draws 2 cards. You may put an artifact card from your hand onto the battlefield. Create a token copy of a permanent you control. Distribute 3 counters among 1, 2, or 3 creatures you control. Destroy a target permanent opponent controls. Goodness gracious. I mean, okay, I'm not going to say Coalition Victory. I mean, I guess that's not what I'm thinking of. What am I thinking of? What's the one that's 5? Something like that, though. Basically, where you are, casting a 5-mana spell. It gives you all these different kind of, benefits, one from each color. And again, you basically get to cheat this out, essentially. You get to cheat on that cast with Vampire Hexmage by just removing those battle counters from it. So, yeah, a creature that obviously has a lot of impact, again, when it comes to a brand new permanent type that we very well might be seeing more of in the future, and I would assume that we are going to be. And also another one that is somewhat similar to Vampire Hexmage, but a little bit different that I want to highlight too. This one apparently is up 80% to $8.93 according to MTG stocks. And yeah, it's a 1/1 insect hex parasite that costs 1, and it has pay X and a Phyrexian black. Remove up to X counters from target permanent. For each counter move this way, hex parasite gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So nice little pump effect for this, but again, more importantly, again, a way originally to take out planeswalkers, a way to take out, +1 counters from creatures. But also now with battles, hey, remove those counters from battles. Again, instead of having to swing through on a battle, you can just be like, oh, that's got like 3 counters left on it. Cool. I'll pay 3 and, 2 life or whatnot, essentially, and remove those counters and immediately flip it. So you don't actually have to get through in combat. Or if you are able to get through this in combat, obviously, and say it's got 6 counters on it, pay the exact same amount. Pay just 3 and 2 life. Remove those counters, make this pumped, and essentially, I said I had 7 counters, you'd get there too, but yeah. You know what I mean. You can pump it. You can take things out. You can obviously kind of get around again, having to actually go into combat to take out those battle counters. So there you go. And then the final one that MTG Stocks brought up, and again, thank you for that fantastic article, and thank you for pointing this one out. And this is what I definitely thought of when I saw the brand new commander, and was wondering if it would be printed. Here we go. Kinsbale Cavalier. A 2/2 Kithkin Knight that costs 3 and a white, and it has Night creatures you control have double strike. This one is up apparently 290%, up to $17 according to MTGstocks.com. Yeah, that's quite a bit. So yeah, $17 now for this card. Again, previously it was about 5 because yeah, Night Tribal is now more of a thing. Yeah, one of the precons is specifically dedicated to Knights. This one, with that precon, commander being revealed earlier, thought this would probably be in the deck because, hey, it's really good with Knights, and they're like, nope. Maybe we'll just probably, increase the price and then reprint in a later set, at some point we were putting the list or whatever to just kind of give additional value somewhere else. So not in the precon. Because of that, the price spiked, and I probably should mention that precon really quick, but yeah, giving double strike to all your Knights is huge. Sadar Jabari of Zalfir, a 4/3 human Knight for 1 white, blue, black. Eminence, yeah, Eminence is back. Gross. If you haven't seen an episode on this, make sure you check that out. Whenever you attack with 1 or more Knights, if it's in your command zone or on the battlefield, draw a card, discard a card. So loot, essentially a free looting effect. Flying first strike when it is combinated to a player. Return target Knight creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So yeah, giving double strike is incredibly impactful to all your Knights number 1, just because having them hit twice as hard is nice. Also with your commander, it's incredibly impactful too, because hey, your commander again has first strike, which is nice because then you get that reanimation essentially first. But also, now you get 2 reanimation effects. Again, your commander's going to be hitting your opponent, then hitting your opponent again, giving you 2 Knights out of your graveyard. So again, this is huge, not just to bump your team, but also, again, to make your commander twice as effective with that combat damage trigger. So yeah, there's a reason that card spiked in price. But yeah, definitely a lot of really interesting cards, going up in price again. Make sure you check out my links, the links in the description below, again, on the MTG Stocks article, so you can learn more about these, kind of see the trends. Also, yeah, about the article on Dan, which I will try to find, and my apologies if I'm mispronouncing that name, but it's a really interesting format. Again, definitely might want to check that one out. And yeah, there's a reason that little derpy fish is spiking in price. And yeah, other reasons, with battles and the Vampire Hexmage, that's interesting too. And then yeah, double striking Knights. What else? Oh my goodness, there's a lot of exciting things going on right now. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.